Hi guys, my name's Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my very first video. I am new to YouTube, so bear with me. I will get better with time, but I thought for today the best way to start off the new year with a YouTube channel would be to share with you guys my reselling income for 2024 as a part-time reseller. And I'll give you a little bit of a background into my reselling history, and then we can kind of dive into my numbers. I love this type of content. I absolutely love binging people's reselling numbers. It excites me so much, so hopefully you get the same excitement out of this video. So before we dive into the numbers, to get started, my name's Haley. Again, this is my first YouTube video. I am a reseller. I have been reselling since 2019. I had a full-time job leading up to my reselling career. That I quit my full-time job to resell, started in 2019, and I started reselling specifically on Instagram. I would do sales on my Instagram feed and also my story, and I did a handful of live sales on Instagram as well, and that really took off for me, and that's where I really started to understand that you can make additional income and even a living reselling online. So to start, I was reselling everything that was mainly boutique-y, trendy finds. 2019 I feel like was an amazing time to sell on Instagram because you could put anything up there and it would sell so quickly. I was very quickly able to scale my reselling business to profiting anywhere from like $4,000 to $6,000 a month. However, it was a lot of work to resell on Instagram. It's just you, so you are having to draft your listings, you're having to edit, you're having to promote for when you're going to do these drops and have these sales, and you're having to prep your story post, prep your feed post, draft out, all the descriptions for the clothing, take bids if you were doing a bid-esque type reselling online or on your Instagram feed. So just a lot to even set up what you need to do to sell in the first place on Instagram. And then also you have to take into consideration how long it actually takes to post on your story, to post on your feed, to comb through comments, to comb through DMs, to figure out who's wanting to buy what, to send over your Venmo or PayPal, Cash App information, and then also gather these people's addresses in some type of organized fashion. I know that there's some apps now that are out there that can help you with that, and that's great. But at the time I was doing it, I didn't have those apps, so it was a lot to get that $4,000 and $6,000 a month, and it took a lot of my time and a lot of my energy. At that point, it felt like it was more of a full-time 40-hour week job versus what I do now. So that's where I started. COVID hit, and then reselling on Instagram definitely took a backseat. Rightfully so. I don't think anybody was, worried about shopping secondhand online while dealing with COVID and sickness and all of that. So that was kind of a forced break for me, and I needed that break. Once I took that break, I realized I love reselling. I love what I'm doing. It is a lot of fun. However, this type of reselling for me is not sustainable, and I needed to find a new way to do things. And at this point, I was not selling on eBay or Poshmark. I wasn't familiar with platforms, but I knew a couple people that were getting into that space, moving away from the Instagram reselling, going to eBay and Poshmark. And that's when I thought, oh, well, I need to try that too, because I can't keep being like the face of my reselling page. It was very exhausting and time consuming. So I kind of wanted to, you know, take a back seat and get on platforms that would do more of the selling for me instead of me having to get out there and like promote sales or promote people coming to my page and shopping. So at the tail end of 2022, I decided I was going to take my lump sum of Instagram inventory and put it on eBay and Poshmark. And, you know, another little bit about me so you can get a feel for the time I actually have for reselling currently to get a better feel for my numbers for 2024. We are a family of 5. We have, well, we're a family of more than that. We have 5 children, so we're a family of 7. And I work full-time currently. I've been fully employed since 2021, a remote position. So I've been 9 to 5 remote full-time job since 2021. Our children have been homeschooling since 2021 as well. So we don't have a lot of extra time outside of work and homeschool. And then we were recently a family of 5 children. I just had a baby at the beginning of 2024. So a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. So when I say I am literally a spare time reseller, I have to grab what time I can get in order to continue making a business out of reselling. So I say all that to say, keep that in mind as you hear some of my numbers and how my growth has been, because I think maybe the most I get to go thrifting a month is once a week or once every other week if I'm lucky, and then I don't have a lot of time during the week to put towards listing and shipping my items either. So at max, I would say maybe I'm able to give 2 to 3 hours a week to reselling. So 2 to 3 hours a week gets me my numbers that I'm about to share with you for 2024. And my goal for 2025 is to grow, but grow sustainably, grow efficiently. And I want to work on integrating my reselling business into my life. So I am not going to chase after goals that are going to disrupt my family life and my time with my children. So anything that I do, I need to make sure that I can integrate that into our life and what we have going on now versus the other way around where I'm having to put a pause on home life to deal with, reselling. So that's the goal for 2025. We're going to grow, we're going to be consistent, and we're going to do it in the least time as possible. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this weekly because I have a large family and, there's other things that I would like to be doing. So back to where I was at. 2022, I decided we're getting on eBay, we're getting on Poshmark. I still want to make some money with this, but I can't be doing it all the time on Instagram. So I took all my inventory, put it up on eBay and Poshmark, and surprisingly, a lot of it sold very quickly. A lot of it did not move at all on either platform. And that is because I had no knowledge whatsoever about what brands or styles actually sell on eBay and Poshmark before I started posting on the platforms. I was using my inventory for Instagram, which is completely different than the type of inventory I would pick up for eBay and Poshmark. My Instagram inventory was very boutique-y, trendy, very much if you walked into your local small town boutique, that's what you would get. And it may cost, $80 to, I don't know, $100 at your boutique, but I was able to find thrift stores and offer it to you on Instagram for way, way, way less than that. I did have some name brand styles available as well. But again, just because it's a name brand, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to move on eBay and Poshmark. So I just got lucky with initially uploading all of that inventory to eBay and Poshmark. And my whole goal for 2022 was I just wanted to play around with the platforms, and I wanted to see if I could make enough money to pay for a family Christmas vacation at the end of 2022. So from September to, I'd say, about the end of November, I posted on those platforms. I don't believe I thrifted much. I think I just utilized the inventory that I already had. And I was able to do just that. I was able to profit right around $4,000 in order for us to go on vacation. And it was lovely. So once I realized that, oh wow, I can work Instagram, or not Instagram, sorry, I can work eBay and Poshmark and make money with this. Now, when I come back from vacation in 2023, I really want to see what I can do with this. So in 2023, I started to learn a little bit more about brands and about styles and how to list appropriately on each platform. And in 2023, I don't have the numbers drafted out exactly. I just kind of have estimates in my head. But when I checked, and in 2023, I was not consistent at all. I had a bunch of bad pickups. There were weeks, sometimes months, where I just didn't list. But I was more consistent in 2023 than in 2024, just because I had my baby in 2024. So there was a lot of time that I just absolutely could not work on anything in 2024. But for 2023, I did have more time, and I just was not consistent with it. So in 2023, I think I ended up profiting around $15,000 to $16,000 with my eBay and Poshmark. And I thought that was great. But because I wasn't very consistent, it didn't feel like I was making that much money during the year, because some months were good, some months were bad, and that was just due to my lack of consistency working the platforms. So anyways, we make it to 2024. 2024, I learned a lot more about brands, a lot more about styles. I did have my baby boy February 2024, so for the tail end of December, January, and February, I was not working at all towards my eBay or my Poshmark store. Had my baby, and then leading up, let's see, I probably didn't get back into the swing of things until April. I think I slowly started posting some more of my inventory in April. So I didn't invest a ton of time into reselling on eBay and Poshmark in 2024. Still had a lot going on, had the newborn, went back to work 9 to 5. My husband also works. He owns his own business, so sometimes it's a 9 to 5, sometimes it's a 9 to 8, you know how it is when you own your own company. So we just had a lot going on in 2024, and I did not have a good schedule as far as like how I was going to tend to eBay and Poshmark after having my baby. So that's one thing we're going to work on in 2025. Again, it's just figuring out how to integrate my reselling business into our lives as a family of 7 with a newborn. So let me pull up my numbers. I do have them on my laptop, and then I'll put the numbers right here so you can see as we speak on them. But I am very proud of my 2024 numbers. For a lot of resellers, they are very, very low. So, just want you to be aware, I am not a 6-figure reseller by any stretch of the means. I do know that with reselling, the ability to scale and scale quickly and scale drastically is there. It is definitely possible to be a 6-figure reseller, and it's also possible to be a 6-figure reseller pretty much on your own if you source correctly and do things, in a more calculated manner. So, yeah, anyways, let's get into it. 2024 numbers, we'll go month by month, then we'll do the year in total. Again, I was off all of 2024 until about mid-April. I started posting again. I'm still at this point only thrifting maybe once a week to once every other week. I'm only working maybe at this point in 2024 2 to 3 hours a week on reselling, if that, maybe 2 to 3 hours every other week. Again, I was not super consistent in 2024 with my business. So these are numbers for pretty much hardly working. So let's jump into January. And these are absolute profits. So these are the numbers after cost of goods, after fees, after shipping, after taxes, after supplies. This is what was in my pocket at the end of the month. So in January, my profit was $913.72, and I sold 34 items. In February, my profit was $903.65, and I sold 43 items. In March, my profit was $755.47, and I sold 31 items. In April, this surprised me because April was my largest month, and that is the month that I got started again. So maybe that's why, but normally it's a few months delayed when you start seeing numbers increase. So I don't know what happened here. But in April, I profited $1,461.73, and I sold 48 items. In May, I profited $998.90, and I sold 36 items. In June, I profited $752.33, and I sold 25 items. In July, I profited $538.16, and I sold 33 items. In August, I profited $645.43, and I sold 32 items. In September, I profited $576.80, and I sold 24 items. In October, I profited $672.99, and I sold 26 items. November, this was a sad month, I profited $280.49, and I sold 16 items. Then in December, I profited $393.62, and I sold 16 items. And for the overall 2024 recap, I profited $8,893.29, and I sold 360 items. And my average profit per sale, so like what I actually put in my pocket on average per sale, was $24.70. And then my total cost of goods for the year, and this has been calculated in already, so this has already been subtracted out of my yearly profit. So my yearly profit is the $8,800. And then my cost of goods, which has already been calculated, was $2,160, give or take. I estimated my cost of goods a little high, just to account for any margin of error or anything like that. So those are my numbers. Again, hardly working, and I'm thrilled to be able to make, honestly, I would take this type of business model over the Instagram business model I had in 2019 and in 2020 any day of the week, because I am hardly doing anything in order to make extra money every month for my family. Now, it's been more of a hobby since I started on eBay and Poshmark. In 2025, I do want to focus more on actual growth and treat it more like a business. And I want it to be a business that, again, works with my family and our needs and what we have going on. And I know it's possible. I'm very excited, and I want to share this growth with you guys. I do want to hop on monthly and go over my numbers. I want to hop on and share with you what I'm picking up in my area. I do not live in a super populated area. It's more rural, so there's not a lot in my thrift stores. So I want to be able to share with you guys what I do find to sell on eBay and Poshmark, in hopes that it encourages you that if you are in a smaller area, you probably have a lot of gems hiding in your thrift stores too, if you just know what to look for. So yeah, here's to growing in 2025 and hopefully bringing you guys along for the ride. I would love to have you. One thing that I'm going to do, and it's kind of loosely based off of what a lady, her name's Carrie, and her YouTube channel is Carrie at Home. You guys should definitely check her out. They are a husband-wife duo and primarily a jeans reseller on eBay, but she started a secondary store for just tops and jackets, like anything that would go on the upper half of your body, and she started it with $50, and she started very sustainably and was consistent and did like more of a slow growth model. It seems slow growth, but the slower you start, I feel like it scales actually quicker. So her numbers now within 6 months, and again, I definitely encourage you to go and check out her YouTube channel to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, her numbers within 6 months of starting this new store are phenomenal. They're amazing. And that's kind of the trajectory I want to take my eBay store in 2025, is instead of just trying to post 10 items a day or trying to post 15 items a day or whatever. I want to be more calculated. I do not want to waste money and have money sitting in my store. I don't want to list 10 items a day just to sell 3 items a day. So, and that's one of the things that she's really good at talking about. It's like, just start a little slow, 1, 2 items a day, 3 items a day, until you get that kind of sell-through rate that you're wanting, get those profit margins that you're wanting, and then you can start scaling and let your eBay store kind of get acclimated to your growth. And as you grow at a slower pace, you're not really wasting all this money in inventory or buying things that aren't going to sell just because you think you have to hit a like daily list quota. So as I'm learning more about eBay brands and Poshmark brands and what sells and what does not, I'm going to be very, very calculated on what I pick up. And I'm going to very slowly start listing 1, 2, maybe 3 items a day. My store is already established, so I'm not starting from scratch, but you know, I don't want things just sitting in my store. Oh, also one thing to note, my store currently I think has like 88 items or something. Since I started my store, it has not really had over 120 items. It hovers around the 88 to 120 zone. So yeah, I'm not a large store either. And I just have all of my inventory sitting in little bins over here outside of my bedroom in the hallway. So that's what we have to work with. And yeah, I'm excited to grow. I'm excited for 2025. Starting a YouTube channel to share this type of stuff with you guys is or has been, you know, one of my goals for a while now, and I'm excited to get it started in 2025. So yeah, be on the lookout for what sold videos, inventory that I'm picking up in my very small town, maybe some online sourcing. I might do a little bit of that and show you guys. But yeah, stay in touch, stay in tune to see how I can grow and scale in 2025. Let's work smarter, not harder. Yeah, and let's grow our businesses together. So I'll see you in the next one.